Hello everybody, hope you all are doing well. Today I'm showcasing invasions on level 150. This build is inspired by Warrior Saint video, that's gonna be linked in the description. Before invading with this character, I've beaten the whole game, just to get the dung ending I've never done before. That was also necessary in order to acquire a few weapons and Ashes of War. That didn't even make it into this video because there's just too much footage, but more videos are coming out soon. Unlike original Warrior Saint video where a character is a descendant of Godfrey, I've made this hideous primordial guy named Reviled Vestige, inspired by both Crucible and Omens. Another difference is most incantations and weapons here with few exceptions deal physical damage, not hoodie. That's likely the reason why endgame content wasn't as painful. One of those exceptions is of course Wrath of Gold. I've grown to really enjoy it as a get off me tool, and I'm just glad it's back compared to woeful Dark Souls 3 WoG. All Crucible incants are pretty situational, but Tail is my favorite, on account of going through walls and knocking down. I suppose Horn also has some utility, but I just had less success with it. Wearing 3 Crucible pieces does boost my damage a bit, and the armor is one of the best in the game for poise to defense ratio. The Frog Breath does fire damage and it's alright, kinda pushes people backwards and stun blocks pretty good. I'm not gonna complain about the damage because I feel like it should not do more. I like it more than any Dragon Breath. Keep me spacing Bloody Slash here because it has just unlimited range, and I'm not playing well in this invasion honestly. However, I have showcased most of the tools that build has in it. I've managed to kill the Phantom in 3 tree spear hits that true combo with little lag. Now the marathon begins. This host is light rolling, so that's gonna be annoying. This video is gonna have a lot of those speed up parts for these situations. Also, I almost always have a Cypher Pata to soft swap because it weighs exactly 0 units. Fist weapons are really strong, and so is this one, and unblockable blade paired with pure holy damage is all I want against shields. I'm not sure what this guy is trying to achieve by running there, but all power to him. I will eventually get bored by this playstyle. I'm not playing this game like it's a Pontiff Survivalist again, so my solution to that is to disengage and go into the level, while shooting a bow or doing something else. My task is to stop you from progressing through the level, and this is a legacy dungeon after all. So now that I've changed my attitude, I'm just not gonna fight multiple people hugging a grace or a host like this. Simply doing it on my own terms. That change has even led to a few disconnects in the past few days, but I'm fine with that. As far as I'm aware, disconnecting resets your invasion timer, so I could be back the second you are. Host is hiding in some bushes, so I'm gonna try and reach him with golden arrows. Truly one of the best additions to the arsenal. I've even connected one, but it did 90 damage for some reason. But look, it was enough to make him go summon somebody. Now it's just a matter of him deciding to play the video game they paid $60 for. Mind you, this is sped up 5 times, so it took a bit. Got an element of surprise on these phantoms now, because they don't see an invader message, but it seems like one single enemy is already doing the job for me. My game stuttered here for a second and almost died because of that, so that was great. Next I get hit by a lion's claw on my way down and I'm out of flasks, so I think I gotta do something creative. Grang's Beast Claw feels nice to use. They added a hitbox to the first part of the spell, so it got that small pre-hit that can stun. I don't know why I expected it to have hyper armor, but it's got none. Covers a wide area though, and as all bestial incants, it's really cheap. There's many ways I could knock someone off on this build, tail, walk, breath or establish order, but I went for tail. Perhaps you've noticed how host just booked it after I killed first phantom, so now my task is to find him. Looks like he ran far off, so gonna bet on a phantom finger. And it has put me in a correct place. This was recorded before 109, but in those kind of situations, there's really no reason not to use a bloody finger. Somehow I didn't notice him running past me, so I'll use it again in hopes of finding him. Miraculously, it works 2 out of 2 times. I use it as intended, and that's the end of the invasion. That was a good one, but it lasted 20 minutes, that we reduced to 6 in footage. What I enjoy about this build is its tankiness, survivability and the burst damage. There's many Ashes of War with serious helper armor here that will win trades for me. After playing with 8 Intcaster, I thought having 50 faith would let me do a respectable damage, but Clawmark Seal does just fine with this stat spread. It's always cute when someone throws a generic pod, like they went through a whole process of getting materials and used a ritual pod on something that has no effect in PvE at all. As I speak, I realize there's no dual charm equivalent really, which made me sad. Law of Regression doesn't count because it's not consumable. Often when I see wizards, I equip a Edge Recreate Shield. I'm still learning timings on retaliation, so that's not always gonna work. However, generally, nobody stops casting after getting retaliated once, so there's more practice to that. Iron Lady, one of the worst coin raiders in the game, is here, so I don't want to deal with any of that. Hosts keep throwing stuff at me, but I'm a bit preoccupied to react and retaliate it right now. What I did here is a nice pseudo-combo I saw on the internet. You can also follow it up with the Wrath of Gold for even more damage. Now it's only me and a host, and I forgot how to play the game for a moment. I'm not sure where that projectile went, but I didn't take any damage nor have I retaliated it. Then I just decided to stop trying it with the shield and go for the rock in the face. It's fun to do and it can combo into a straight sword R1. What's nice about casting in Elden Ring, there's a spell for almost any school that works as a combo starter. As I see a Scarlet and One Breath, I get my freezing pots ready and an extra resistance shield. It's got horns and all, so it actually kinda fits the character. I've put a vow of Indomitable on it that can possibly help with a tick or two of that. I can really see the potential in following up Crucible Tail with Gurant's Claw. They just got a couple of steps too far here. After recording a few of those clips, I learned that Catch Flame shortens the startup animation of Frog Breath. Like it's one of the chaincast interactions, they did not fully change. Just thought that piece of info is useful. There you see me using vow of iframes like one time in this video. It would have worked perfectly if I didn't roll bad on Impaling Thrust. It does give you full 30 iframes. You can roll directly after those iframes end, but your opponent might still have a frame advantage on you. It's funny to me how they've never touched Basilis X Ruin in any patches. I guess it will stay strong, considering it locks you in for 8 seconds. Also apparently, in 109 it is boosted by a raw talisman, but the boost is insignificant. After this little frostbite exchange, it's my turn to use Impaling Thrusts, so let's see how this phantom fares. There's already one blue in that probably got a garbage spawn point, but now it's time for more marathon running. Just for you, bestial sling equipped. I was not close enough to not let him enable the grace. Another extra villager is in, but I'm not even gonna acknowledge their useless existence, because I don't want to fight an infinite army right now. Shout out to this wizard using his wizard powers to glitch out, and the verticality for the kill. Here's a reminder how you should spawn with some mean Ash of War equipped. This probably didn't intend to camp me, but it is what it is. Try not to attack an invader in iframes challenge. Literally impossible. Next, try to hit an invader when they are locked in, to save yourself, instead of panicking. Also impossible. The decisions some people make just will not ever make sense to me. Another smart decision is be way ahead your deceased phantom. I'm not gonna gank this guy too hard, but his progression will be stopped in rather mean way. I have included this invasion because it lets me rant about Dragon Breath. As you watch this, you see I've denied this phantom Castanet 2 times, with a pot and a rock on her face, as he deserves. Third time, I've run out of stamina, and I cannot do much about it besides eating it. FromSoft did attempt to nerf this, but of course poorly. Dragon Breath is a symptom of a much larger problem in order to provide players with tools that make them feel powerful. They added a number of spells and Ashes of War that do not need to be timed, spaced, or really thought about in any capacity at all, outside of using them within a postcode of a given enemy. Many of these remove decision making entirely and make your brain shrink. It's a disease, often spread amongst phantoms. Sometimes I feel like Elden Ring took an inspiration from some Dark Souls 3 convergence mod with those meaningless building-sized hitboxes. But now the rant is over because me and my Omen bros have killed them. As a classic, a blue helm bear is coming right in queue. Really did not expect this fireball to reach me through pillar, but should have known better, it's a From game. So now, time to engage in panic rolling. Really hard not to cast Wog here, as a high risk reward. Rest in peace, the legend, he will not be forgotten. Now, understandably, after a loss of a phantom, and the enemy Sagara down there, they are not really eager to progress, even though next grace is right there, but perhaps they don't know about it. This is one of those rare cases when a blue actually served the purpose of breaking a stalemate. Using blood-infused sword spear, don't see that every day. The build up on it looks serious. Tail in those narrow places is pretty efficient unless you jump over it. Now their problem is they have adopted 2 Helix Knights that are going to climb a ladder with me. Those dudes are best co-invaders I could have asked for. A host gets caught in initial explosion of the Basilisk ruin, and that's basically an invasion over. Here's an example of a messy 2v2 fight. I know these guys were taunting in Shiver River for a while because I saw an invader death message when I spawned in, but now I finally get a co-invader. I initiate a fight here with the tail, but get interrupted first time because hyper armor doesn't start immediately. My plan was to sweep the host off the cliff. Then I try to get them with the frog breath, but they managed to successfully escape first ticks of it, so it didn't do much. My co-invader is seemingly having some problems with holding Phantom's attention, but it's okay. Not getting team fired is all I care about, and that happened only once right here. This was recorded in 109, so I appreciate other people trying out new stuff like curved greatswords. And it looks like the host's demise was gravity after all. This invasion's MVP goes to hitting people through walls, and a proper use of Placidus's ruin. This is why I love this area so much. Ledges everywhere. I've been told that I can come with the explosion into the first beam if I don't jump and free aim it, but I've yet to try it. But whatever you do, don't hit me while I'm doing the thing. If I remember right, I have 74 poise in this character, which is significant, but I guess my poise health was not at 100% here. Anyway, Wrath of Gold works as a roll catch or as a wake up too. This invasion went on for a while, with few blues getting in, but they died to ants and me throwing rocks. I just didn't feature it because it was boring, and I'll go to the end of it. At this point I know this guy does nothing but rolling attacks, so at some point I'm gonna try and roll backstab it. Look at this illegal backstab maneuver. I didn't even really need to move my character, he just jumped on my spear. This is recorded in 109. Obviously after everyone was talking about great hammers, I got one myself. Best thing about it is Ash of War, that does tons of damage, so I suppose it can be used as a stick to spawn with. I know R2-R1 is a combo now, but I'm having doubts about using it, as you will probably trade hits, and your opponent will come out of hit stun with an attack that will interrupt it. Also I have a feeling some of those buffs will be retracted or tuned down next patch. Greatsword R2 and running R1 feels unreasonably fast now, and curved greatswords were good as is. One thing is, I respect my family build from using Morgoth's sword, but now it's buffed even further. Another really questionable decision to me, as it was shredding things already, but now they buffed both the class and the Ash of War. I guess one meta arcane build I have planned will use it. That's a great invasion, by the way, full of chaos, and Halictry Knights are being my best friends again. They even got a wondrous physic that will heal them to full HP. Honestly, half of this invasion is just a random bullshit go, but who's to say that is not fun? Ending it in a brutal way, but hey, I gotta use frog breath for a kill at some point. Yet another invasion in Elfheil. It's such a cool area, I ended up just standing there and invading nearby, because it's better than some random open world garbage. Whole area gives me Ring City vibes, only without that large staircase where people would throw shit at each other for 5 minutes, and no Herald Knights that could hit an invader for an entirety of their HP. Just a better area really, aside from a boss you fight, in my opinion, which gives me hope for tremendous DLC locations. Here's 109 Marnika's hammer, with much better recovery. It's so fast that I saw some people could not backstab me, and these guys apparently have not fought Radagon yet because they couldn't dodge it. And this is going to be a final invasion of the video because I'm about to reach the 20 minutes mark with the footage. Most of it was 108, where I played this build for a past month. Now I kinda wanna take a break from 150 to take a peek at lower levels. So it's a double Blee build time, and they cowardly refuse to give me a bridge fight, but I'm not very keen on getting bled by the people near a grace. I'm surprised Tail gets recovery low enough for me to take a riposte. Now it's time to regroup though. I really wanted this guy to fall off the cliff with his rivers of blood, but that didn't happen. I'm really not expecting guard breaks this often. They cover up each other's mistakes quite well. I really should just spam Unblockable Blade, which I will do in a moment. You can teabag all you want because I will make you play the level, but just gonna give it one more try by heading up there. I'm gonna stack my robustness as much as I can beforehand. Here I learned Unblockable Blade has same hitbox thing as Moonveil, where it can do no damage, but it serves that right, I guess. Bleedman with an honest reverse is back, so time to retreat again. This time I am dedicated to not giving them a fight in an empty area. I'm even gonna use a Starlight Shard. Not popping them left and right every invasion, but sometimes yes. And I'm gonna go back to the archery. As an outro, I'm gonna say this build is my second favorite behind my first playthrough character, and I'll definitely return to it sooner than later. I hope you enjoyed the footage, and I think it's a good place to end it on, because I'm done.